So on the bench today, we've got a repair that needs to be made on a gauntlet. As you can see, this gauntlet metal's actually cracked completely, meaning that this is now loose. So the intent for this repair at this moment in time is we're going to grind the rivet off to take that out. We're going to center pop and drill a new hole, and we're effectively going to pull this back and re-rivet it a little bit higher up just temporarily until we can actually get in and repair this properly with some infill. The tools I'm going to need for this today, obviously angle grinder. I've got this set with a flat disc just to help me take the head off this rivet. Good old trusty hammer. For the rivet itself, we're going to use a 5mm roofing nail, my old drill with varying drill bits to obviously make the hole larger for the gauntlet and the rivet to pass through, and then a chisel and punch set. The chisel and punch set is purely to help get the rivet out of the gauntlet without having to do too much grinding. So first things first, we're going to look to grind the head of the rivet off. And before we do that, obviously we're going to be using a grinder, so we need appropriate protection. So I've got earplugs to protect my ears. Just push those in. I've got eye protection on, similar to these. Wear over the top of my glasses. And also gloves, just to protect from any metal fibres, metal splinters that may go into the hands. Now it can be awkward and it can be tricky because you've got to also hold the gauntlet whilst you use the grinder. The other key piece is that on the wall here I have a fire extinguisher, so from a fire perspective, if anything were to happen, if the sparks were to catch, I've immediately got a fire extinguisher to hand. Turn the power on the grinder. I have my grinder set to a relatively low setting. I have it probably set 3 to 4 because I don't want it spinning at stupid speeds. So I'm going to hold this. Always wait till your grinder stops to make sure you place it face up. If you want to be extra safe, turn it off. So what we've done there is we've ground the head of the rivet off, as you can see, using the flat disc, and now it's actually flush to the diameter of the hole. So the next thing that we need to do is get our chisel set and punch set. I go for a flathead punch just because it gives me better purchase. We're going to take our hammer, we're going to line that up as best we can, and hopefully with 1 or 2 knocks it should punch that. So nice and clean, and that's the old rivet on that piece out. So now that we've managed to do that, we've managed to get the rivet out, the next thing that we need to do is start to work on drilling and creating a new hole to pull this back. So the first thing I'm going to do is hit with a center punch to create a new center punch, just a little divot to enable me to then take the drill and very carefully start drilling. Now we switch to the larger drill bit, the largest one we're going to need just to enlarge this hole. And there we are. Just going to check that with a, and as you can see, we've now got the right size for our hole. Now we can move on to placing the rivets. Okay, so we've drilled the hole, we've made it bigger, we've got the right size. So what I've then done is I've taken my nail, I've fed it through, marked it, and then I've taken the bolt cutters and I've clipped it to create the rivet. I've backed the rivet with a washer, not a split washer, but a standard washer. And I've fed it through so that it's now protruding from the inside. I've got my normal anvil here, pliers, with a horn on it, because these are quite awkward to get to. And now what I'm going to do is slowly just start working my way around the edge to start creating a mushroom. I don't want this rivet to be too tight. Just to illustrate, you can see how that started to mushroom over. That's what we want. So we keep working away at that until that mushroom gets a little bit bigger and closes up. Like I say, I don't want this to be too tight because I want this to be able to move freely.